Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we have some Retribution Paladin updates on the beta, so to the spec itself. We'll also talk a little about what else is going to be coming up as far as testing on the beta goes, now that we can test the dungeons, the delves, etc. This video will be a little bit shorter, and we're just going to talk about the changes and the implications of these changes. So, Retribution Paladin. Crusading Strikes has been redesigned and being reintroduced as a choice node to Templar Strikes. Crusader Strike replaces your auto attacks and deals physical damage, but you attack 50% slower. So this is basically, well, let's go through all the full changes first. Crusading Strikes damage is increased by 200%. Auto attack damage is increased by 300%, but this does not affect Crusading Strikes itself, just normal auto attacks if you're not talented into Crusading Strikes. Hammer of Wrath damage has been increased by 30%. So now when you press Judgment, which is Hammer of Wrath when you have wings on, that damage is increased by 30%. And a fixed an issue caused Hammer of Wrath tooltip to display wrong damage information as well. It's just a bug fix, right? So obviously the big thing here is Crusading Strikes being re-added. Hammer of Wrath damage, of course, that's something that's needed because they need to make the button feel meaningful. If it's going to switch between Judgment and Hammer of Wrath, it's like, well, it's got to do something, right? And so the damage has been increased. That will also help Blessing of Anshi for Herald of the Sun as well. So that'll be there. So now let's talk about Crusading Strike auto attack. So this was removed, and now it's back. It's in like the same choice node that we had before. Before it was up here, of course. But now it's over, down here with Templar Strikes. And what they're trying to do here is they are trying to not give us another button. This is essentially what I think it boils down to. If you don't want to play Templar Strikes, they're going to give you a different button or a non-button that you don't have to use. And in doing so, it's no longer going to generate passive holy power for you. Instead, they're going to probably try to tune the damage to be similar to Templar Strikes. But I imagine in this iteration of it that maybe they'll have Templar Strikes be a little bit stronger. I don't know what it'll end up being, but they're basically trying not to give in extra buttons because a lot of this has been reducing buttons, correct? You know, in Midnight, it's been about reducing buttons a little bit. So they're trying not to give, they're trying not to give extra buttons if you don't want them, right? And so that'll be the choice here, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, right? Maybe it'll still end up being really strong or something like that, but it's the way they're wording it and stuff with it's like, well, the damage is going to be increased, but it's going to be really slower. It does physical damage. It doesn't do anything special. Regular auto attacks are also increased. So if you are playing Templar Strikes, your regular auto attacks are going to hit a little bit harder. Heart of the Crusader is like this talent in the middle of our thing now. And so Crusader Strike and auto attacks deal 20% increased damage, deal 20% increased critical strike damage. So like trying to make that be meaningful as well. So ultimately, we'll see as we go through with the testing. But I doubt with it not generating holy power that it will be better than Templar Strikes. I think there might be cases where you don't take either, very specific cases, including maybe Mythic Plus, where you maybe don't take either. But that being said, I think it's going to be more of a preference, and then with Templar Strikes possibly being kind of like the go-to for like the higher end, the min-maxing and stuff like that. That's my feel just on reading their wording from it, right? That's a lot to, you might be thinking that's only like 5 lines of words about this, and it's like, yeah, but when you've played the game and not studied but just peered into their minds for so long, I guess, when they put out these patch notes, you kind of get a feel for what they're trying to say. That's what I think that they're trying to do there. Obviously, I could be wrong, and we'll do the testing to make sure that that's the case. So that's a big change for anyone who really. I felt like the community was kind of split between the people who like Crusading Strike auto attack and didn't. Kind of 50-50, honestly, or in a very close to 50-50. So if you really didn't want to have Templar Strikes, you will still have the option of Crusading Strikes, but don't be surprised if it is a little bit weaker than Templar Strikes, would be my thought and my guess for now. But we'll see how it plays out. Other than that, obviously we are on the beta now. They opened up the level 90 testing, so you can actually get like all this cool level 90 gear, we can start going over the tier sets. We can start going over trinkets. We can start going in the dungeons. We can start going in the delves. We can start comparing our damage, because there's actually a damage meter down here that you can actually hopefully works, right? I guess if it doesn't work, that'll be an issue. But as long as this works properly, we can at least break down our own damage. And so that is what I will be doing this week. I will be doing a ton of this stuff. I don't know what I'll start with for sure. I'm probably gonna, one of the things I'll probably start with is I'll probably make a Templar single target build, a Templar Mythic Plus build, a Herald Mythic Plus build, a Herald AoE or Mythic or a Herald single target build, and I'll probably try to figure out what builds to play with, like which builds are the strongest right now, and then go from there on testing like tier sets, testing trinkets and stuff like that from there. But I imagine I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff coming up, and hopefully a lot of good content and a lot of good videos for those of you who enjoy Ret Paladin. I might do specific videos like, okay, this is how the delves are, like just breaking down other things as well. Of course, it's not only Ret Paladin, but we will definitely be getting into the nitty gritty of the Ret Paladin stuff, and there'll be plenty of stuff coming out for that. So this is very exciting. The beta came up a little bit later, so probably won't have anything major done tonight or anything like that, but I can start working tomorrow on doing some further testing and stuff like that. So also I wanted to point out too, I saw a lot of comments that and I mentioned in the last video, Divine Toll, when you press Divine Toll when you are in Templar, it is giving you Hammer of Light proc, and a lot of people are pointing out to me that is the way the Protection Paladin one works. So it's probably just an issue of Protection Paladin hero talent mixing with Retribution Paladin hero talent behavior, and so likely a bug. This is actually still the case on the beta, so it wasn't actually fixed. It wasn't in those patch notes. It was not fixed in that either. So it's likely a bug, and hopefully that'll be fixed soon. It'll be hard to test Templar with that bug, honestly, but I'm just being completely honest. So we might be focusing more on Herald until that gets fixed. But hopefully it'll be soon that'll stop happening, because it's going to be really hard to tell, because that's an extra Hammer of Light that you're not really supposed to have. So it would be very hard to judge that damage. So we might not even have to worry about the talent thing. We might just go with Herald for now until that gets fixed. Of course, we could still have a baseline and be like, okay, well, this is what Templar is with the bug, right? This is what the damage is with the bug. But very much looking forward to it. I'll probably do a couple dungeons tonight even as we get into this here. So but I did want to update with these updates, because we did actually have updates, and it brought back a talent that probably at least half the community really likes in Crusading Strike auto attack. We'll see. It's TBD on if it's going to be something that you're going to want to play at high end. But of course, if you're not playing high end, you can always just play it anyways. And that's the glory of that, is that usually things are balanced in a way where if you're not doing something high end, you can kind of play whatever you want. So those of you who really enjoy it, it is back. It's a little bit different. It's not exactly the same. No more passive holy power, but it is in fact back. So yeah. So wait, does it give holy power? Hold on a second. I guess I didn't read that. Crusading Strike replaces your auto attacks, but your auto attack, yeah. So yeah, it's just empowered auto attacks essentially. So yeah. We'll call it quits on this one, and I'm going to get into the dungeons. I'm going to get into testing out this actual damage and stuff like that, and we will have more videos coming this week. Let me know how you guys feel about the Crusading Strike coming back, because basically at this point, like I said, it's basically, do you want this button or not? Do you want that to be Templar Strikes, or do you just want no button on your bar for that? So that's kind of where we are now. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. Subscribing helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.